Shout out, shout out. The Connects. The Luis Guzman. Don't ever go, never leave my side.
Yes. 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 Welcome everybody to another episode of I'm an Artist, Not a Salesman podcast, episode 006. As you guys already know, what we do is we highlight entrepreneurs, business people alike in their journey, what they go through, what they've been through, and where they are now, and how that journey has changed their lives, guys. So I'm happy to have everybody back. Been on a quick little hiatus, but it's okay. We're locked and loaded. We have episodes on the way, and I have a special guest with me this evening. We are talking to Peter Boutros. He is a real estate extraordinaire, to say the least, okay? And I'm very thankful to have him here. I know he's a very busy man. He's here to sit down with us, talk about what he does for a living, and talk about his journey to, see where he's been. So I want to welcome him to the show right now. Peter, how we doing, brother?
Doing fantastic, Louis. Thanks for having us today. So, thanks for having me today.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. And let me tell you something. I mean, we have a mutual friend. And, I started following you, and I started realizing your grind, and I started noticing how you move as far as like presenting yourself as a businessman, as a realtor, as a brand. And I was inspired by it because I said, you know what, this guy knows what he's doing. And I feel that whatever you are doing right now in your professional life can help someone that's listening to this podcast now. So I'm very excited to have you here, man, and to pick your brain on, what it is that you go through in business and in real estate.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Whatever I could do to help, be more than glad to.
Absolutely, man. Well, I mean, let's get down to it, brother. I mean,
sure.
So you're a realtor.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, talk. Where do you work for? I have EXP Realty Company here in my notes. So give us a quick, a quick rundown of what it is you do as far as real estate.
Sure. So you want me to start from how I got into the business?
It's your pod. You tell me. Yeah, let's start. Yeah, how was your beginning? Where did you start? How did you get your start in real estate?
Sure. So it started about maybe 6 years ago. I started looking into real estate investing. One of my best friends and I started looking into meetups, and it was like, hey, what is this real estate investing is about? We want to learn more about it. So we started attending different meetups. I started listening to podcasts, Bigger Pocket podcast, and I started learning a lot about investing and owning different properties and different ways to invest in real estate. And I found a real estate agent that started taking us around, and then we found a property. We were about to get into it. Didn't work out. There's a lot of issues with it, and kind of took us back a little bit. So during that time, it's funny, my wife and I were in the process of getting married.
Right. Okay. How long ago is this? So give the people the time frame.
Yeah.
7 years ago,
about
8 years
5
ago?
years ago.
5 years ago. Okay. So you're still kind of not fresh, but you're just into this real estate, right?
Yeah.
5 years. Okay, cool. So 5 years ago, about to marry your wife.
Yep.
The investment didn't go through. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we go in, and I'm like, hey, she's always been in property management. So property management is very similar to buying and selling real estate. So what she did was she would sit in an office, apartment building complex, 300 plus apartments. And then she would sit there, people will come, and then they want to apply for an apartment, lease an apartment, show them the apartment. And then here you go.
She's like a property manager.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So one day her property management company said, hey, we want you to get your real estate license. We can't have you here anymore without a real estate license. So she was like, hey, I gotta get my real estate license. I'm like, let's do it.
I'm gonna get mine too.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you, yeah.
Yeah, so I took the class, and mind you, I was just only thinking of learning more about real estate because I wanted to learn a little bit more about the real estate investing side. I didn't have any intentions of actually being a real estate agent. So I took the class with her, and I was like, this stuff is really interesting, and I kind of loved everything about it.
Piqued your interest.
Yeah. So I took the class, I passed it, and I'm like, okay, this is really nice. I learned a lot already about real estate investing. I really learned what real estate is about, and what the rules are and everything else. How about I give this a try? And since I was really passionate about real estate investing, I took this to the next level, and I was like, I gotta really make something work out of this. So, I got my real estate license, and just started grinding, man. Like I went in and I was like,
Doing the work.
yeah, I started calling people. Thankfully, I had a good mentor. His name was Ron Collins. When I went with
Shout out
the
to Ron
experience,
Collins.
yeah, he took me under his wing, man, and he taught me a lot. Really great work ethics. That got me to this day, and I was just hustling. I was calling people that I didn't know. I was people in my office, in my EXP office. I would reach out to them. I'm like, hey, can I host your open house? Can I just do this for you? Like, I'll go to the persons that are holding the meetups. Hey, I will take attendance for the people, because there was somebody at the door taking attendance for people that are going into these meetups. Let me take attendance for you for free. I just want to be part of the
You want to
game.
be in the arena.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So just a lot of that, like we're trying to put in the work without expecting any pay upfront. And door knocking around different neighborhoods when there's an open house happening. And slowly it started escalating. The business started going better and better. And that's how it kind of get started.
I think what you have that a lot of people don't have, or that people forgot about, is sweat equity. And I feel that you define that from your story right now, from what you're saying. So I relate to that a lot, because in my business, how I came up, it's the same thing. I went through a lot of sweat equity, knocking on those doors, making those phone calls. And it kind of, you have to kind of be a visionary, right? And I feel like you have that, because in 5 years, you went from knocking on doors to taking attendance for free to cold calling to now you're, from what I see, very successful at what you do. So there is a blueprint that you followed.
Yes.
And I don't know if that is that instilled since you were a child. I mean, did your mother give you these values of dedication, integrity, hard work? Where does that come from? Like the blueprint that you have as a person? Because again, my first time meeting you, but just based on what I've seen, I noticed that you are a hardworking person.
Yeah.
Is that part of your roots? Is it part of your DNA? Did you learn that from your father, from your mother? I mean, where did that come from? That mind state that you have?
Yeah, so let me actually go a little bit back. So I immigrated to this country when I was 13. I was born and raised in Egypt.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Nice.
my parents came in. My dad was an architect. My mom was working for the post office. They were working fine over there, and they wanted a better life for us here in the US. So when we came here, they obviously couldn't use their credentials to work the same jobs that they were doing back home. Here in the US, because they needed to get certain certificates and certifications and pass through.
So your father was an architect in Egypt.
Yeah.
But and your mother was a post office associate in Egypt.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I thought you said they were that here. Okay, go ahead.
No, yeah. So they came here, but obviously they wanted to provide food for the family as soon as possible, right? So because they had 2 kids, then you gotta pay rent. They moved to this country now. It's like everything is brand new. So they were working, each one of them were working 2 jobs at a time sometimes to kind of provide food for us. And that obviously when I was younger, I didn't realize this. And, there was a lot of, I know they loved us a lot, but there was this missing family time that we didn't have growing up here in this country, especially.
Because of what they were put into. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So because they had no choice really, but to provide food for us. And that was the only way that they could do it. So I guess without realizing that, years later on in my life, that like these roots were kind of, already in me from my parents. So like they went in, they found a job right away. They didn't, settle for, for unemployment or anything like that. They always find a way to provide, money for the family. And something actually tragic happened before I got married. And my mom was working 2 jobs a year, up till before we got married. And
5 years ago.
Yeah. And then she, funny enough, she ended up getting a post office job here too.
Get out.
But she was working for the warehouse. And at the same time, she was working for Macy's in their warehouse, also helping out. So she was working the night shift at the post office. And as she was coming out, she got hit by a car from one of
Oh
her
my
coworkers,
God.
and she passed away.
Oh man, I'm so sorry, Peter. I did
No,
not know, man.
yeah, no, it's
Oh
so
my
that
Lord.
so what happened? It obviously took us by shock, and still till this day, it's something that I don't really like to bring up, but I think for the sake of this podcast, there's a lot of meaning that comes behind it, and it made kind of me where I am today, because I realized at that point that there's family is very important, and I want to make sure that I'm there for my family going forward, and I want to take a lot of what my parents put in me, and use it the best way possible to kind of have that financial freedom for my family.
Man, that's very. I mean, you set me back here. That's powerful. I'm sorry for your loss. I know that sounds cliche-ish, but I really do mean that. I did not know you went through that. I feel that your mother and your father, from what you're telling me, are hardworking individuals, and they instilled that in you. And I feel like when it comes to things like this, I feel like your mother's with you, and I feel like that persistent, consistent drive that you have shown to me so far, it comes from a special place. And I feel like your mother being with you spiritually, or just she's watching over you, has done a lot to you as far as your success
Thank you.
and as far as what you've done for your family. And your mother and your father planted those seeds in you unconsciously.
Yeah.
And I think it shows, because again, for me to not know who you are, but see the type of man you are, that's a big thing. Because a lot of times people, they act like somebody they're not. I don't feel that with you. I feel like you are who you are, and you come from a hardworking family, hardworking background, first generation
Mhm.
in this country, and you're setting now. You're planting your seeds for your family from what you've seen your mother and father go through,
Sure.
and I think that's beautiful, man. And I give you a lot of courage to share that story. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. I mean, how old were you when this happened?
Um, say 27, 29.
29. You're
Yeah.
34 now, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. Okay,
Mhm.
so 29, and you were just married to your wife.
It actually
Or just-
happened, 6 months before our wedding date, and
Oh, Jesus.
and we had to push it back.
Right.
Yeah.
And did you guys have children before you got married, you and your wife, or you had
No,
kids out? Okay. So
after.
it was just you and your wife. So was your fiance at the time a rock in your
Yeah.
corner?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, how was
even,
I'm sorry.
yeah, even though we weren't married, one of the things that, I love about my wife is that she was been supportive, of everything that I went through from day one. I noticed about her within the first year of dating her. I noticed that from what she's been doing to her family, supporting her family every way possible. She comes from a big family, so her family was always important to her, and I felt like part of her family when we started dating. So when this happened, she pretty much didn't leave our side at all. Like she was always there, making sure that she was very understanding, of course, of what happened, and just trying to help as much as she can. Even till date, even with my business today, right now, like she's never been the type of person where, she of course she wants family time, but she knows where we're going, and there is a time that we're trying to shoot for. There's a goal that we're trying to do, and she is in line with that goal, and then she knows that it's going to be for the better future for the family.
That's like a non-negotiable when it comes to finding a life partner.
Yes.
And you describing your wife is kind of like how my wife is, and I felt that. And you can't even say I do unless you feel that connection and that dedication. That there are helpers. You know,
Yes.
I mean, biblically, that's how it is. And for her to stand by your side through thick and thin, it's a testament to her love for you.
Of course.
So that's beautiful, man. I mean, wow. Again, you threw me, like, you shell shocked me with this, but again, I can see now why you are the way you are, where your determination comes from, where your hard work was instilled through your parents coming over and working 2 jobs, where right now we have trust fund kids that don't do anything,
Mm-hmm.
and they just want their parents to give them everything. But you and me, we came from the dirt. from the soil, and we made a flower out of that. We blossomed. And I love the fact that you shared that. I thank you for sharing that, because it plants the foundation to who Peter is, as far as like a businessman, as well as, you know, a human. You know what I mean? So, you know, that means a lot to me, sharing that you shared this to me. And you know, I wanted to switch gears as far as like going back to your realtor experience. Now, I noticed that you're a mentor. I read that. Who are you a mentor for? What is the mentorship?
Sure.
Can you delve into that? Like, you know, what that means?
Sure. So new realtors that, you know, get their license, they get pretty much thrown in, out there in the business, right? They have no clue where to start, what to do. One of the things that, you know, actually helped me become where I am, you know, again, I got lucky with a good mentor. So after working with him, I was like, you know what, this is something I want to do and give back as well. So when a new realtor goes on board to the brokerage, they need to be working with a mentor for their first 3 deals or so. And this is somebody that they have to find, like the brokerage have to find a mentor that kind of aligns with what they're looking for, what areas. And then I work with them to get their first deal started, help them build a schedule, help them find business, give them ideas, help them draft a contract, tell them where to go, how to host an open house, and all these good things.
It's nuts you say that, because I'm going back to the grassroots. This is the Peter that would go take attendance for free. This is the Peter that would knock on doors. This is just your hard work blossoming to helping other people get to where they need to be. So you're still of service to people, just like you were of service to people when you were not a big time realtor, or you just started out and you were just hungry to know the business. And I feel like that's also, you talked earlier when we were off camera about transferring that energy somewhere else instead of me going to eat a burger, right? So I feel like you transfer that passion that you have to the people you're mentoring.
Yes.
Am I off base, or is that?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And like, it's, you know, there's something about helping other people. Like, you got to find what you are really like, what is God calling you to do, right? And it's different. Like, every year is different. Like, hey, maybe I need to help people, you know, get their foot off the ground and just start going into the business. Or if it's something else that, you know, hey, maybe somebody that needs help with dieting, you know, like I did a few competitions, bodybuilding competitions, and a few people reached out to me, hey, like, can you help me out with a diet? Like, I was doing that for a little bit, but it's just about giving back to the community, and anybody that I can help. Just, you know, in general, it makes it worth it, and it makes me feel a lot better.
Absolutely.
Too.
It's what we're here for. I mean, I'm Christian. I don't know if you're Christian.
Yep.
Oh, you're Christian.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Welcome to the family. That's great. I mean, 'cause the way you're describing how we are of service is so true. It's biblical. We're here to serve. So I wake up every morning and I say to myself, God, I know somebody's going to probably test my patience.
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody's going to trigger me, but help me see the true reason why you're putting me in this situation, so I could be of service to whoever it is you put me in contact with today. And I feel that with you. It's, you know, you genuinely just want people you want people's lives to be affected by you, and by what you can show them and what you can add to their lives, you know? And it's crazy you say that, because I have one of these questions here that kind of hones in on that. You know, I wanted to know where your passion came from for real estate. Was it a financially driven connection that you had, or was it just a connection and infatuation of helping people?
Yeah. So I gotta say, you know, to be completely honest, it came through helping other investors find investment properties. And then on top of that, to be able to have financial freedom down the road. So I saw there's opportunity, you know, when you find something that you really love and you able to help enough people, then you're going to be able to get what you want. And this is a quote from Zig Ziglar, and I'm a big fan of him.
I love Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
I saw him live before he died.
No.
In Pennsylvania. This was not Pennsylvania, Wells Fargo Arena in Philadelphia. This was 2005.
Wow.
I saw Zig Ziglar, and I saw Colin Powell too.
Wow.
They were in the same arena. Yeah. Very powerful. But I'm sorry, I mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I listened to a lot of his books, and he always say, you can always get what you want if you help enough people get what they want.
Amen.
Right. So that quote was stuck in my head, and it is very true. If you help people, without expecting anything, naturally, like one day you're gonna be able to get what you want. So that's how it got me started. So I'm like, hey, I've been looking for real estate investing. I think I understand real estate investing at a decent point right now. And on top of that, I got my license. Let me see if I can do that to help other investors find investment deals. And it kind of just opened up a lot of doors, really. Like it kind of fell in my lap, honestly. The real estate world, it fell in my lap, and I never thought in my life that I would become a real estate agent growing up.
You're shining now.
Yeah, and it was like, and it just started happening. It started escalating, and opportunities just started coming up from there.
And it's funny you say that, because we never know what God's plan is.
Yes.
And we think we're going in this direction, and then he's like, no, we're going to put you over here.
Mm-hmm.
But I know why I'm doing this. Trust me. And I feel that you are a man of faith, obviously. So you don't question what God has planned for you already.
No.
You kind of just step into your faith, step into your greatness, whatever he has planned for you. And I feel like for you, you really own it. Like you really took this real estate passion, you made it something, obviously with hard work and faith as well. And, with you being a man of faith, I feel like you already know God's got this no matter what, and it makes me now I didn't even know you were a Christian. So now I want to ask you, like, how were you saved?
So sure. So we grew up in Egypt. So the most Egyptians that are Christians over there are Coptic Orthodox.
What does that mean? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So Coptic is the language that they pray in, and it's a descent of Greek language.
Okay.
And Orthodox is it's very it's kind of similar to Catholic, but they have not changed anything from the Old Testament
Gotcha.
and things like that. So their sermons or their lectures are, Sunday service is about 3 hours long,
Wow.
and there's a lot of hymns that go into it and all that. So another side, my wife is Maronite Catholic, so because she's Lebanese. Okay. Maronite is the faith, like, or the language that was back in the day. That's how they used to pray back in the day. Mm-hmm. So it's a combination of both. So it's very similar to Catholic, but it's just a different language, and there's different procedures that go into it.
Okay. And how did you become a Christian when you were in Egypt, or? Mm-hmm. But was there like were you younger as a child, or like was there a moment that you just found God and you were like, I want to be a Christian? Or
no, I kind of grew into it.
You grew into it. Okay.
Yeah. So my mom was a very religious person, and she's the one that kept us in faith the whole time. Made sure that we're going to church every Sunday, go to Sunday school. She was a Sunday school teacher, so it kind of, it was in the family already.
Gotcha, mm-hmm. Man. And when you came over here, obviously you still continue your faith. It's a little bit more different here, right, than it was back in Egypt. But
yeah, there are a lot of communities here. It's a big community. When I grew up, when we moved to the country, we were in Jersey City. So Jersey City's got a big community over there too. So we were going to the church over there. But it was most of my spheres actually from that church, and it kind of grew with me to school, to different areas. So
it's powerful, man.
Yeah,
powerful story, brother. And look where you're at now. All in God's grace, man. That's dope. I have a quick question, because you did mention about that. You said in Egypt they only did the Old Testament. They believed in the 3-hour sermons. What was the name of that again?
They do both the Old Testament and the New Testament. But it's called the faith is Coptic Orthodox.
Coptic Orthodox, yeah. Because I know, Jewish people, they believe that the Old Testament is what that is, and that there's no Jesus and there's no Savior. Like, I was just confused. That's not.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
It's both.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure, right? Because I was off base. All right. No, perfect, man. No, you give me some clarity. Man. So I got we have a recurring theme that we do here on the show. This is actually a brand new segment. You're the first person to actually be a part of this, which I think is cool, because I feel like you are a mastermind. So it's called Mastermind Questions. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and take your time, think them through. But it's just kind of to have the audience get a more sense of, how your business journey was shaped through these questions.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
So the first question I wanted to ask you was, what book have you read that inspired you the most?
Sure. So I'll tell you, I never liked reading books until
Me either.
5 years ago. And
Everything's 5 years
yeah,
ago,
you know,
right?
something magically happened in
Yeah.
last 5 years. I don't know.
This is
Midlife
powerful.
crisis, what is it? I don't know. But and I'll tell you the story behind why this is really important. After we got married, you know, in our honeymoon, my wife is a social butterfly. We went to Greece for our honeymoon. From
Santorini?
we went to Athens, Mykonos, and Santorini, right?
Nice.
So of course, like when you go from Athens to Mykonos, you go on a ferry that's like a 4 hour long or whatever. So we sat, and then two people across of us just sat right next to us, and my wife just started talking to them. We started talking to them, and they were American from California, and they ended up being in the same place that we were going.
Oh, okay.
So we ended
Vacation friends.
Yeah, vacation
Yeah,
friends.
absolutely.
So, you know, funny thing is, like, this guy's a real estate agent too. So like it's so weird, like
Wow.
things have started just happening, right? One of the nicest guys I ever met, and he doesn't even know me, right? And we became really friends, and we're friends to this day. And you know, I must have seen him. I honestly haven't seen him since that day when we were due to meet up. But before the trip was over, like, of course, there was a lot of stuff that, you know, we did together. It was such a fun time. He gave me a book, and that was the first time anybody that ever gave me a book.
The first time
And-
you ever read a book.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
And it was called The 5 Love Languages.
The 5 Love Languages, one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
I've read it as well. And my
Yeah.
wife, yes.
Yeah, so
Now we're talking.
yeah, so it kind of just inspired me to just start reading more books. But it's that book alone I'll never forget, just because of how it came to me, how it arrived to me. Because this person just, you know, I don't know, the way he gave it to me and the way he talked, like, he was very genuine, and he was like, I want you to read this book because we read it and it had a huge impact in our lives and our married life.
Do you feel like he gave you that, obviously, because you were on your honeymoon and you were newlyweds?
Probably.
Good.
Probably. And for whatever reason, I read it, and then I haven't read any other book. And then from there, it started escalating. Hey, this reading thing is not so bad.
It's not bad. You get to learn a lot, man.
Yeah.
And did you learn your wife's love languages?
Yes.
What are the love languages, if you could share?
Yeah. It's
And what are yours?
yeah, of course. Of course. So just doing spontaneous things for her. You know, just
Acts of
a-
service.
Yeah. Yeah. So she loves that, of course. And you know, for me, I would say, you know, it's about the same. I actually. So
So you guys both have the same, like, acts of services, doing things for one another
yeah,
in service.
In
as we
service.
said. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome, man.
yeah.
Good
so-
stuff, man. I love that book. That's a great book. It helped me and, you know, my wife in our dating journey. You know, before marriage, you know, we learned a lot about ourselves, obviously, and it really helped shape how to handle, you know, because we're human beings, but we don't act and think or do the same things. So that book really did help us in our preparation for marriage.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool stuff.
It
man.
is. It is. And oh my God, there's so many other books that I read after that had a huge impact in my life. But you know, I just gotta remember that because that was the start of
That was
so
the
many
beginning.
other.
That was
yeah.
like the genesis of your reading.
Yep.
And as far as like reading more books.
No, for sure.
Good stuff, brother. Good stuff, man. All right, let me ask you the next one, man. What person in your life has brought you the most influence?
Person in my life brought me the most influence. And I gotta say, it's one of my. So I'm part of a coaching company right now that, you know, helps me get where I'm at in my business. And I gotta say that the owner of that coaching company, Michael Hellickson,
Michael Alexson. Okay.
yeah, he's been very influential, and you know, the things that he's been able to share through his company, and you know, trying to get me to really caring about my business and trying to get me there. You know, somebody that I look forward to be like, you know, in business and family and in faith, because he's a man of faith
He's
too.
Christian as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. And where's his coaching company? Where's
So it's called Club Wealth.
Club Wealth? Okay.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that on
Yeah, I was just
social media. That you were away. I saw.
I was there. Yeah, he was. He hosted an in-person seminar for 3 days, and I was in San Antonio, Texas.
Nice, man. Did you get any like networking
Yeah.
done? And
It was so powerful. Like we met so many people, so many different realtors from across the nation. It was a lot of people from different areas. A lot of people that are doing, much better than what I'm doing, and some people are doing, a little bit less. So it's a combination of everybody, and like just networking, just trying to surround yourself with people that you want to be like. And it was very impactful. So I was able to take a lot of takeaways and then pretty much present it to my team to kind of help them move that needle too.
absolutely soaking in the information, passing it along, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Good stuff, man. Let me ask you the next one here. Are there, and this is kind of like perfect because it's moving into what we were talking about. Are there any practical tips that you can share that has helped your process in business and in life?
In real estate or in general?
In general, like anything that you do practical
Mhm.
that has worked for you that, has, kind of helped your process in life and in business or just in general as a human being?
I would say two things that have been very powerful. The first thing is consistency. With business or anything that, I try to achieve. One of the speakers at that event that I went to the other week said,
What was his name?
What is his name? I can't remember on top of my head.
It's okay. Don't worry.
But he said to everybody in the room, you guys are exactly where you are, and you're not gonna do anything better than where you are now, financially, family wise, health wise. This is how you are. And it kind of took people away, and people kind of got offended by it. They were like, "Hey, this is supposed to be a seminar,
I work hard, man.
motivational
I want more
seminar."
money. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, "What do you mean? You're telling me this? I'm not gonna make any more money than this is. Why am I here then, right?" Then he paused and actually one person left the room, right? But and he said, "Unless you change, right? Unless you
I
change."
like it.
So, and it's true, right? So if you really want something to change in your life, if it's financial, family, health wise, you gotta make a change. And what that change is could be a lot of things, but you need to find what that is. You can't be comfortable, and change is not gonna be comfortable. You gotta be willing to do the things that are not that you're not comfortable with on daily basis, and have faith that it's gonna work. And obviously get advice from people that are doing it already, or they're actually successful in the area, and listen to their advice. But like things like in our business, one of the most hated things is prospecting, right? Reaching out and following up to clients.
The dirty work.
Yeah, people don't like doing it, and they have a lot of reluctance in calling and cold calling. But that's what is needed to make sure that you have a pipeline full of potential people that you need to help buy or sell a house. And if they're not consistent, if they do it one day every couple of weeks, they're not going to see any results. That's one thing. And I would say the other thing is just having faith that God's got your back.
Amen. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, without him, we're not able to do anything that we're allowed to do. It's because of him that we woke up this morning.
Yes.
It's because of him that you're a realtor, that I'm a pod guy, / fence guy. But even the gifts that we have, it comes from God. So obviously I always give it all to him. So if we close 20 deals in 1 week, or if we close 3 deals in 1 week, I'm like, God, I know you got this. So I'm going to keep doing what I need to do. We're very in sync with that. My email at the bottom, Luis, sales manager, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, it says consistency drives success.
Wow.
That's what my email says. So, God has a sense of humor that he put us together here.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later. So consistency drives success. You feel the same way, but it doesn't happen unless, God allows it to happen. So we have to do what, use our gifts in life to be consistent, and the rest, he's going to take care of it.
Yes.
But it's not magic. You got to actually work hard. I do this once every 2 weeks. I call prospective clients that I have seen in the last month, and just, text message here, phone call here. Out of 50, I might get 3.
Mm-hmm.
But Imagine if I didn't call 50, I would get 0.
Exactly.
That's the defining difference from hard work, consistency, and just wanting things to fall in your lap.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. You can, pray about it too, but God, I know God. You got to believe in God, and God has got you. But God wants to see you take action too.
Amen. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what he put us here for. It's to
Absolutely.
serve and to take initiative, with the gifts that he's given us.
And it's very powerful. God wants us to do good because He knows when we have the right intentions. Of course, we're gonna come to a place where we're gonna want to give back. So just about giving back and contributing to others, it's not. A lot of people get it wrong. It's not just about contributing 10% of your income to a church or a charitable event, a charity. It's also the time. Giving back time to people that you feel like that could need that time too. That's also very powerful, and that's why you need to be out there making sure that you're successful, so you can create a legacy and have a huge impact on other people too at the same time.
Man, powerful stuff, man. Powerful, powerful stuff. I mean, it's crazy you're saying all this because, again, we never met. And I just went off your social media, and I'm just so happy that you are who you say you are. And it comes through in your personality, in your faith, and your hard work. So it's so far so great, Peter. Thank you, man. My next one, man. Have you ever had any vices? We're going to get a little down dirty. And how did you overcome them if you had vices?
Vices.
Something that held you down from not being great, if you had any.
I would say, I mean, growing up, before my time, before my dating time, I mean,
Right.
it was going out every weekend, drinking every weekend, partying.
Drinking. I get you.
And you know what? Like I think it needed to end. I came to a point where I'm like, I can't be doing this, drinking every weekend and then just waking up hungover, and then it's taking me 3 days to recover.
Yes.
And then I feel like I've accomplished nothing the whole weekend and almost half the week. So it was a very, very bad cycle that it was happening every single weekend. And I would say, like, between the right people come into my life, it helped change that a lot too.
Absolutely. You surround yourself around good people, positive people that weren't making you drink or go to the parties or go to the clubs or things like that, right?
Yeah, it wasn't just like, yeah, drinking is fine, but binge drinking like every weekend, that was a problem. That was a problem.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And we think when we're younger, oh, I can go to the nightclub till 3:00.
Yep.
And then go to like the diner at 4 a.m. and go to work at 7. And it makes you, and my engineer knows about this because he's a DJ, but it's a very unforgiving lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're, obviously in my engineer's case, he was making money doing it, but if you're on the other side where you're partying, spending money, drinking, putting toxins into your body, and then it takes you 3 days to recover, how do you expect to be so great?
Yeah.
So
and that was a big turning point too. And once I kind of got away from that life, I saw the change. Like if I have a family now too, like, and I got married, I'm like, okay, like I gotta get up and go to work. If not, then there's no food on the table.
There's no food, there's no mortgage paid, nothing.
That's
man.
it.
Yeah, so it's growing up basically, right? Like we just gotta own our crap, grow up, and get to that next level.
Yep, 100%.
Awesome, man. So now we're just segueing beautifully here. What does the next level of success in your life look like?
Next level is I would really like to grow a very successful team and be able to pretty much give away what I learned so far and help train and motivate other agents to do the same thing that I was able to accomplish. There's a lot of people that I came across that don't have the right guidance, and it's not really their fault. It's just that they're not, they haven't been, I guess, through a good mentorship program or anything like that. So I want to be able to help realtors also succeed. So that's my future goal. So, I want to be able to build a good team that will be able to take care of the buying and selling process too.
Do you see yourself as a broker one day?
Not so much as a broker, but as a team leader.
Team leader.
Yeah, and
Gotcha.
I would like to have a good sized team that will cover most of New Jersey.
Nice. And
Yeah.
then I also, I don't know if I'm off base here, but I see you. I can see you as a motivational speaker in some sort, man. Like you have a lot of information. You care about people, and that's something that's rare to find in business because business is so volatile, right? It's so icky.
Yeah.
You know, oh, he's gonna get a percentage here, he's gonna get a percentage there. Oh, you know, you got to, but I feel like you really have like a very a big passion for people. Does that transcend? Can that transcend into something more like humanitarian, like where you're giving back, or you're talking, or you're motivating young children? I mean, what do you think?
That's one of the things that I always thought about, and I never did this before. I've never spoken in front of a huge crowd.
Really?
It gives me butterflies thinking
Get
about
out
it.
of here, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You got to jump. You know what I mean?
Maybe one day, but I definitely envisioned myself talking in front of a big crowd one day. So that's one thing that I would love to get to do, but haven't thought into it that far yet.
It's all good. I see the seeds, man. God's pushing you towards that little by little, but we're gonna see what He has planned for you, man. But
who knows? 5 years, in 5 years, a lot of people make huge moves, and I feel like, I didn't know I was gonna be where I'm at today 5 years ago. So who knows, man? I would take you up on that.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, I say that because I see the passion you have. So it's like a guy that loves cars but doesn't own a car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you have that passion for people and for teaching, for training, for educating. It's instilled in you. I don't know if it came from your mother or your father or a combination of both, but you have that, and I feel that I can see you doing that one day on a bigger scale. That's why I asked you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I could see that too.
What event in your life shifted your thought process to want to be more successful?
It's got to be what happened with my mom. That was a key turning point in my life, and even though it was tragic, but sometimes things like this, you gotta, even though it was very it was a very sad moment in our lives, and it still is, but I think God made me take that and try to leverage it in a different way and see how I can use whatever energy I got from that to help me find a new passion, really. Because I think if it wasn't for that, I would have been a little bit too comfortable in a place where it wasn't going to push me forward. Like, okay, now I lost somebody that was a major person in my life, and okay, what does this mean now? Okay, like is this what I want my family to go through for the rest of their lives, or do I need to create something better for them?
And do you think that the passing of your mother shifted your complacency to not to stop being stuck and just move? Right, that's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just made me stop thinking about it. Like I always thought, I want to have some passive income, some investment properties here and there, but I was casually looking. But this happened, and I'm like, and my whole world flipped upside down. I'm like, all right, well,
Oh my Lord,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine, man. And your faith at that time obviously must have been tested, right?
oh, of course.
And how did you get through? And again, if you don't want to revisit that, I totally understand. We can move on. But what did you have to do to mentally or with God and therapy? Was there anything you did to get yourself out of that place when that happened?
Thankfully, we were very known in that church, and because of that, we didn't really feel that much alone. We had a lot of people that came to visit from the church. The priests were visiting. We grew up with them. That community was huge for us during these moments, because they were very supportive. They did everything that we never had an empty house for like a month.
Wow.
Different people were coming in and out all the time. I mean, it was hard, but just I can't even imagine if we were completely alone at that moment.
God,
it would have been a lot harder.
So the community with church really helped you get through this process.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is there are people that came in that I didn't even recognize, but they just know me and saw us from church as a family, and they just wanted to help, you know. So that's very powerful. So there are a lot of people that care in this world. That just, you know, they show up in different moments of lives, and I understand that. But I think because of the culture that my mom surrounded us with and growing up, this was able to happen when a tough moment like this came up.
It was the compound interest of the seed your mother was sowing.
Yeah.
And it all came when this happened. And so thankful that you had that community around you.
Yes, 100%.
Because, excuse me, the man that we have here in front of me today is powerful and is very driven. And, you know, it all comes obviously from that unwillingness feeling to never give up. And I really relate to that, you know.
Yes.
Man, switch gears. One more question here for you. What was the best money you ever spent on one item?
Wow. The best money I ever spent on one item.
I'll tell you mine's after you tell me yours.
Okay. Gotta think about this one. Man, I just gotta say coaching.
Nice.
Coaching.
Nice. Why?
So I paid for coaching for. I had two coaches at one time, actually last year. One for dieting, and since I was competing in the bodybuilding competition,
Yes.
and coaching in my real estate business. 2 years ago, I decided to hire that Club Wealth consulting coaching company that I was telling you about, and because of them, it made a huge impact in my business. But just think about it, like you're going somewhere without a map. Like you want to drive to Chicago without iPhone, without a map. You're not gonna know how to get there. You may ask around and stop at every gas station.
It's gonna slow you down.
It's gonna slow you down. But because I went and aligned myself with somebody that has been producing better than me, and they want me to get there, I had the roadmap already set up. And if I had done that sooner, I think I would have probably been even better. But I think that money that I've been spending on coaching, I continue to spend on it monthly. And I think it's something that I can give on to my team, because whatever I learn from them, my team gets it as well. Continuing to invest in my personal growth, my business growth, and health, you know, that I think is got to be the best money that I could
Absolutely, man. You invested back in yourself.
spend. Yes.
And it helps grow your business.
Mm-hmm.
It helps grow you as a person. And overall, it helps grow the people around you. And I think that's the biggest takeaway, because you're putting this investment into that, but the return you're getting back, it's tenfold plus more.
Yes.
You know, and I see that. And again, from what you're telling me, I just feel that the next 5 years for you are going to be very, very powerful. They're going to be very exciting. From what you're telling me, if what you're doing now got you here in 5 years, just imagine the next 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that excites me to hear that, you know, you've went through that stuff. And it also brings up, and you said you got a coach for dieting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Protein Pete. Let's get down to the bottom of Protein Pete. That's your alter ego. What is going on?
Sure. So I don't know. I've been working out. So it started off, I was a soccer player when I was in high school.
Nice.
I loved soccer, always wanted to succeed at it, but it seemed like I had a trend every 4 years I would tear my ACL.
Mm-hmm.
So
as like every soccer player, right?
Yeah. So I had 3 ACL surgeries, and I'm like, man, I think that's it. It's time to hang my boots up. Because
Right.
I'm not even doing this professionally, and I keep tearing myself up like that. So I was like, all right, I gotta find something else that will kind of challenge me physically. And then I started just working out. I loved working out. And then I'm like, okay, but you know, I go on and off. I'm not happy with my results. So let me find a coach that will help me get into pretty much the best shape of my life. It was a challenge, like, right? So like, all right, what is the best shape that I can get to? So I hired a coach, 3DMJ. That's what they're called. I found them on Instagram, and they're very science-based. So talk to you about into building a workout routine that will work for you, based on your schedule and something that's realistic. And same thing for dieting. And I took it to the next level. Like first I did it casually. Okay, great. I got into a decent amount of weight I was happy with. So I tell my coach one day, hey, what do you think? What about if we do a little competition? Like, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So like, let's push the bar further. So I did it, and it was pretty nice. I enjoyed it. Just getting out of that comfort zone, right? Just going out there, pushing myself to the limit. And man, let me tell you about mental challenges when you are dieting and you're not eating enough and you're still trying to work out and you're still,
Oof.
yeah.
I've been there.
There's a lot of challenges.
It's not
right?
easy. Yeah, it's not easy, man.
So there's a lot of times where I'm like, I want to quit. Like, why am I doing this? And for what? Who cares? I'm married. Why do I even care? Like, why do I even need to get a six pack?
Yeah, she's happy already.
Yeah,
you know?
And
Still gotta keep her.
yeah, right. So I'm like, you know what? I already started. I'm not the type of person that likes to quit, especially when I'm there already. Like I already put this much work. I'm halfway through. What's another 3 months? What's and it's all mind games from there.
Yeah. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
Yeah. So I did that the first time. It was about 4 years ago, and I did it again last year during COVID. So I started my prep. It's a bodybuilding, and it takes about 9 months to be fully bodybuilding stage ready.
Right.
So I started in January. COVID happened in what is it, March? Not last year, the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And then it continued on. Was it last year? I forget. I don't even know.
It's all good.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago.
Yeah. So yeah, and I had to find out a way to work out without a gym because the gym's shut down. So I was like, man, what do I do? The day that everything shut down, I went and I grabbed whatever weights I could find at the
I did
Dick's
the same
store.
thing, man. Yeah, absolutely. I went in my garage. I didn't know I had this.
Yeah, the bikes, ellipticals and all. I couldn't find any place to buy, cardio machines from. So I ended up walking around my block like every morning, like for an hour until like my feet. I couldn't walk on my feet anymore because I kept on getting blisters.
Jeez.
So I'm like, you know what? I gotta invest in something else. And I finally found a bike that was back ordered and it got sent.
Nice.
But that challenge was pretty good on its own because it pushed me even further. I was able to do something that, even though I could have said, oh, COVID happened, I can stop today, and I don't have to, go for the competition. And a lot of competitions got canceled because of COVID, but we found one that wasn't because I already made it through. And it's just that accomplishment that in the back of your head that if you set your mind into something, you could achieve it no matter what. And it's not going to be easy, but there are going to be challenges along the way. And if you defeat these obstacles along the way, you could pretty much, work through almost anything else that comes.
And also to add to that, it's also self-love, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they say when people get married, like she's not supposed to be your happiness. You're not supposed to be her happiness. You're supposed to add to each other.
Sure.
And I feel like in your situation, it's like you have to still love who you are as a person, as Peter, and build yourself up. And you doing that as a challenge for yourself with the bodybuilding is just another release of what we talked about before. You transfer your energy somewhere else and motivate that. And I feel like you do that with bodybuilding. You do it with realtor, with the mortgage realtor business, and you give yourself back that self-love. And I feel like that's what people have to do is really focus more on their own self-love before they can love anybody else. And I feel like you have that as well. So it all comes full circle.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
That brings me to my next question, man, because you talked about consistency and success. How important is content, and I'm switching gears back to real estate and branding. How important is content and social media presence in today's real estate business? Is it necessary to become successful? And is it too much or too little a bad thing in social media and presenting your brand of real estate? Like, can you break that down to me? Like,
Sure. I think content and social media right now is everything. People like I need to do a better job. Like I gotta be honest, I'm not focused too much on that. But I know the times where I had down times in my business and I just put some effort into it, I saw results immediately. And as far as like, if if you find a time, if a realtor is just starting out and finds a time and all they do is create content and put it on social media, they will be able to help a lot of people and find business coming their way.
It is like the bridge now to that covers the gap.
Yeah, because
Right.
like think about it. Like, back in the day, realtors were, in order for them to reach, let's say 100 people, it would probably take them 3 hours or so. But now with social media, you can post a video and you're able to reach thousands within seconds, right? ASAP. So it's that brand awareness that we were talking about. Like people can put, door knock, hey, I'm a realtor, I'm in your neighborhood, let me know if you need help with anything, or continually to put content out. These people will keep remembering your face, what you're doing, and it's so easy to do with a push of a button. Of course, there's got to be, thinking about it and creating that content that goes out. But once it's there forever.
Absolutely. And it's something that people can always go back to, and it's the brand awareness portion of it, where they're always going to think, okay, Pete, man, I got to call Pete. I got to pull back. Like, I did it. And this is how I got you here, is because I kept noticing your videos and you're pushing your team. You're talking about real estate, and it sparked me to send you a message.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're on the right track. Just keep consistency drives success. So the more
100%.
consistent you are with it, you already know this.
Yeah.
It's gonna blossom. You know what I mean? And it's funny, right? I asked this to everybody that's in real estate, man. Do you feel like real estate is in vogue right now? Like, is it just like cool to be a realtor, or is it like, how do you cut the fat? Because I feel like everybody's a realtor.
Yeah.
But how many successful realtors are there? So it's like, is it just the in vogue thing to do now? Oh, I'm a realtor, but I sell one house a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, is that just the thing to do now? Is like, I'm gonna do real estate?
It's the new shiny object right now.
It's the new shiny. I mean, because I felt like, real estate obviously always goes up in value, right?
Yep.
It's never has an historical depreciation. So obviously there's money in the business.
Yes.
But just because there's money in the business doesn't mean anybody can sell a house.
Exactly.
So what separates you from every other realtor that is just doing this because it's the thing to do?
Yeah, 100%. And you know what's funny? I had a friend that lives in another state, and they're looking to buy a house right now with their friend, who apparently just got their real estate license. So they don't even know what his job is. So they were calling me. They were like, "What is a realtor's job?" They don't even understand what. And this is what kind of sparked something in my head. I'm like, did he not explain to you the whole buying process? Like, did he not go into that with you? If somebody's not walking you through with the whole buying process or selling process from day one and knowing what to expect, I mean, maybe they'll be able to sell a few houses a year, but it's not going to be a sustainable business. There's so much competition. Like you said, everybody's a realtor. How can you differentiate yourself from other people? And, for us as a team, we do a lot of training on a daily basis. We want to make sure that the client is completely aware of the process from day one. One of the things that we do, we want to take them through a buyer consultation. We make sure that, they're pre-qualified. They understand what steps they need to take from, going to see a house to going into attorney review, to going inspections. We negotiate inspection items for them. We help them negotiate that, appraisals and everything else. And on top of that, our network of people. So, like if they need an insurance rep, we know who the best person is around. So they don't have to keep shopping around. If they need a lender, we know who the best person is. If they need an attorney, we know who they need to get protected, to call to get protected. So it's a combination of a lot of stuff.
All in-house shop.
Exactly. And it's really up to the client. And we want to make sure that we exceed their expectations every time. So we're always thinking of new ways. How can we do this better? And that's part of the reason why I go to these seminars and pay for coaching because the world is changing so quickly, and people just need to see something today, and their expectations are happening like at a short period of time. So we're continuing to evolve, and just want to make sure that we're satisfying all our clients by giving them everything up front and making sure that this process goes smoothly as possible.
And that's a big thing in business because nobody wants to be sold a bill of goods that's wrong
Yeah.
or false, right? So you being transparent, you kind of, throwing everything out there is like, look, this is the deal.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do any better, can't do any worse, but this is what this is the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a crew and a team. NJ Stunning NJ Homes.
Stunning
Is that the
NJ
name
Homes.
of your company?
Yep.
Okay. And that's the team that you lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're pushing the Stunning NJ Homes brand through the transparency, through the hard work, through the they call it synergy. I don't know if they still call it synergy, but the synergy aspect of it where we are one family.
Sure.
And we are, hey, you need this, you need that, boom, boom, boom. I got it. It's the same thing in my business.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who can I get to paint my wood fence when you install it? Oh, I got a painter.
Yeah.
Oh, I need a deck. Oh, I got a deck guy. Oh, I got a roof guy.
Yep.
So it's the same basis that separates you from the pack because you're making it so seamless for the potential homeowner.
Yes.
And that's something that's missing in customer service today.
100%.
And I think that you are, again, you're bridging that gap, which makes me ask you, do you think realtors can be like financial literacy consultants? Because seriously, like you guys, it's like you guys know math and numbers. Like, do you see yourself being a financial advisor out of this realtor, venture?
There's so much that goes into real estate. Like there's different avenues. Like there's the single families, there's the multifamilies, there's the condos, there's the commercial side of it. So I think, my niche is that. And, if I get into something else, it will make me lack in other areas. So I keep that to the experts in that field.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. So your focus is just mainly real estate and mentoring.
Yes.
That's what I take away from you as like where you're at right now is becoming better at your craft, honing your craft. Iron sharpens iron. That's why you keep a strong team around you. And obviously your ultimate goal is it's stunning NJ Homes.
Stunning NJ.
So that's the big push.
Sure.
So, how many people are on your team right now?
So right now I have about seven realtors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, I couldn't hear
Oh, sorry. Siri needs to be quiet. Go ahead. So you have 7 realtors.
Yeah, 7 realtors. Some of them are part-time, some of them are full-time. And it's okay. Like I tell them, hey, if you want to make that transition, I can help you there. But again, I cannot teach, hustle and I cannot teach grind. Like you said, everybody wants to be a realtor. So I can only help coachable people, right? People that are looking to listen and looking to pretty much do the things that, we know that's going to work. So some people get frustrated quickly and some people are willing to put in the work. And it's just going back to that consistency of doing the same thing over and over again.
Absolutely. You go back to the blueprint
Mm-hmm.
and it all makes sense.
Yes.
So I hear you, Pete. I mean, this has been powerful, man. I feel like we've been going at it now for over an hour, but I
been
think
that long,
yeah, it's good. It flies, right?
Yeah.
This is like it's a free flowing conversation. But I feel like I have a better sense now and understanding of number one, who you are as a person, your dedication, your grind, your motivation, but then number two, your vision for the next years of your life, your 5 years, your 10 years, your 15, and being a man of faith, which to me, it strikes a chord with because again, we both share that amongst other things as far as, consistency and success. But as far as, the next 5 years with New Jersey, I want to mess up Stunning New Jersey Homes.
Yes.
I mean, is Stunning New Jersey Homes EXP Realty?
Yes.
Okay. Can you make that your own entity or you have to be under a branch?
I got to be under a broker.
Oh, you got to be under a brokerage. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, gotcha. But you kind of are the boss of that in a way.
Yeah, I'm the team lead of Stunning NJ Homes. So, of course, there's EXP Realty, which is the big brokerage.
Big brokerage.
They're all in all states right now. And, my goal is to, grow the team to, maybe 30 realtors by...
I can see it happening,
yeah,
bro.
by the end of the
5
year.
years? Oh, by the end of the year. Okay, no more 5 years.
No. Hey, maybe after that it'll be 100. Who knows?
Nice, man.
Yeah.
What advice would you give any upcoming realtors that are not doing it for the shiny object? They're actually doing it because they want to connect with people and help them sell a house, buy a house,
Yeah,
or
fine.
so.
Yeah, connect with somebody that you want to be like, right? And surround yourself with people that are doing really well. Find somebody that is willing to help and mentor you, and even better, find a good team. Find a good team that is producing in the areas that you want to be in. Somebody that can coach and guide you and train you, because I have a few realtors that came on a team and they've already sold 3-4 homes within the last 4 or 5 months,
Crushing it.
yeah. So it's really that fast track, and that's what a team can provide a new realtor versus trying to figuring it out on their own every day. If they find somebody like that, I think that would help a lot. If they have the budget to pay for coaching, they can definitely find a coach that will help them get there. It will take time, because coaching is just building out systems to get you there. But if you're looking for, the quickest way to get a few deals under your belt, is the team is way to go.
Absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
That's right.
How's Hector doing? He's selling a lot of houses.
He's doing great.
Nah,
he's got his.
He has the hustle.
Yeah,
I tell you that, man.
He's got a few hustles, and especially with his son Adrian.
Oh man, God bless him, man. He's gorgeous, man.
Yeah, he's cute, man.
Yeah.
So I know that's challenging too.
No, it's difficult, man. But he's my brother, and he's a hard worker, and he puts his 100% into everything.
Oh, so, yeah, 100%.
He's a great asset to the team. But yeah, man, that's all. I mean, should I buy a house? Is now the time to get a house?
It depends. Where are you looking? Like, are you looking for a multi, a single, or?
I'm looking for a single, but I mean, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market?
So it's a seller's market. However, I always tell everybody, look, if you're going in to buy a house and try to sell it in the next 3 or 4 years, then don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, because we don't know. But we know that the data is pretty strong when we're looking at a longer time frame, like over 10 years, right? So we know over 10 years, you're most likely going to appreciate. And if you're going to sell after the 10 years or so, then you should have no issues. But, the last 3 years, we saw huge appreciation. We saw like over 10% a year of appreciation every single year. So people that bought 3 years ago, they have like over 30% of some have over 30% of appreciation in their home from when they bought. Some people are like, hey, I want to cash out. I'm gonna downsize.
People that are retiring, moving out of state, senior citizens, you get that a lot as far as like downsizing.
Yeah, or just people that have been relocating because a lot of jobs have been changing to working remote or working in different areas. They're like, hey, if I'm going to work remote, I'd rather be by the beach. I don't need to be so close to New York. Let me go somewhere else that's, maybe cheaper, or maybe in front of a beach, and I could still do the same job I'm doing. Absolutely. So those are the people that we've been seeing a lot too. But buying a house, I believe, and it's always the best way. Buying real estate in general is the best way to build generational wealth.
Why is that?
Just because if we're looking at the graphs, you know for sure that real estate is going to continue to go up, right? Even better, if you want to create generational wealth, is buying investment properties as multifamily properties. I like multifamily properties over anything because you can go from day one and know that you're going to net a certain amount of money, cash flow, after you pay the mortgage. So if you're going in with that, knowing already that you're going to make $500, $1,000 a month from an investment property, and the rents are only going to go up from there.
Absolutely.
It's only going to continue to go up. So, for example, when I was going to these bigger podcasts before I became a realtor, one of the guys that are on a bigger podcast was like, "Hey, my daughter is 1 today. I'm going to buy a multifamily property. By the time she's in college, this property is going to be paid off, and that's going to be her college funds." More than that,
passive income.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And it's a tax write-off. You basically don't pay taxes when you have investment properties.
Yeah.
Because it all just comes right off. I mean, obviously that's how the millionaires do it, right? Because you get so many properties, you're almost absolving all the taxes that you owe because it's all tax deductible.
100%.
So, I 100% agree with that, man. So, man, P, it's been a good talk, man. It's been a good journey, brother.
Thank you, Louis.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Again, I want to definitely give you a couple seconds here to shout out what you got going on right now as far as like your Stunning New Jersey. I want to say New Jersey stunning homes. Stunning New Jersey homes.
Sure.
EXP, coaching, protein Pete, faith, hard work, dedication, etc. If you want, you could just turn and look right there towards the camera and just let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah.
And let them know about all your social medias and what you got going on.
Yeah. So guys, if you need help with real estate, we're here in New Jersey serving North and Central Jersey. If you are a real estate or you're thinking about getting your real estate license, would love to help you, guide you and mentor you through the whole process. You can find me on Instagram, Stunning NJ Homes. My cell phone is 201-888-4908. If you are looking for coaching, I'm also a coach with Club Wealth. You can find them at clubwealth.com. And reach out to them, set up a strategy session, see where you're at with the business. If you need help with anything, there'll be a great coaching company to help you with. And if you just want to reach out and connect and say hi, just find me on Instagram and social media, just Stunning NJ Homes.
My man, Pete. Thank you so much for your time, brother. I really appreciate this conversation.
It's been fun, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise, man. We'll have more conversations off air. Obviously, you got a friend here now, man. So make sure you keep my number. And thank you so much for doing this. And we really appreciate your time, man.
Thank you.
So with that, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. I Am an Artist, Not a Salesman podcast, episode 006. Peter Boutros. I said that right? See, Peter Boutros. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Stay tuned. Next episode dropping very soon. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure that you click subscribe. I'm an artist, not a salesman on YouTube. Make sure you follow me at Luis Guzman. That's LuisGuzman 2444 on Instagram. And you can also follow the podcast through there. And make sure you listen and download on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We are out. Thank you again. Peace and love.
I never go away. Through rejections and comments suggested you stay manifested. I never lose a step. I gain about 50. I break through the wall steadily and quite swiftly. You can't break my spirit. I'm a self-starter. Don't ever let me go. Passion, I need you, mama. Don't ever go. I need you by my side.